Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of Ignite News. I'm your host Greg Rosser.
And I'm Neil Reyes.
Now spring has finally sprung in Hamilton. You know what that means? The CFL Combines are just around the corner, Neil.
Exactly. We're all excited for another season of Ticats football. But the big question is, will Tim Hortons Field be ready in time?
You know, what's that going to mean for the economy in downtown Hamilton or the community as a whole?
Our own reporter Sam McFadden has the latest on that story.
The construction of the new Tim Hortons Field could be up to 6 weeks behind the original schedule. The rough winter season and a major subcontractor announcing bankruptcy have caused a lot of problems for the field. The stadium was originally supposed to be ready to open on June 30th. The construction companies are still aiming to have the $145 million stadium finished before the Ticats season opener on July 26th. The companies have brought forth the idea of opening the stadium before all the construction is finished. This would involve blocking off areas that would not be needed to play football. Ward 3 Councillor Bob Morrow is confident that the field will be ready on time.
Well, I think basically it's a case of optimistically meeting the deadline. There was a meeting yesterday morning at the Pan Am subcommittee, which had a report that they are confident they can meet the July 26th game of the Cats, and hence no disruption of the home games in the regular season for the Tiger Cats and for everything else thereafter. So we'll hope for the best.
The final decision to open the field before it's ready will be in the hands of the city.
The city has to, through the building regulations that we are responsible for, and the province, of course, which is building it, infrastructure, Ontario, has a lion's share of the say, and we have the local city council, of course, with a lot to say about the ongoing operation.
The Tim Hortons Field will also include Canada's largest outdoor sports bar and the largest outdoor high-definition board. The stadium will also be hosting the 2015 Pan Am Games along with other sporting events.
Construction is well underway here at the new Tim Hortons Field, but there's still lots more work to be done. For Ignite News, I'm Sam McFadden.
Engineering students use thousands of popsicle sticks in order to build the bridges for Mohawk's annual Popsicle Stick Bridge competition. Their bridges are tested to see how much weight they can handle, and only the strongest survive. Peter Alnick, the organizer of this event, says that this is a chance to let the engineering students shine.
We're giving them the chance to showcase their skills. That's pretty difficult for engineering technology students to do. And so here we are today now giving them the stage for them to shine. And there will be some learning that goes on as well, but the main part is there's going to be a lot of fun had.
Super Mario was also on hand to break the bridges. Technologist Matt Shelley says that by battling Super Mario, it allows engineering students to gain the necessary skills.
Well, the inevitable outcome is that Super Mario will be the champion, but certainly it gives our students a chance to learn some engineering skills along the way, too.
The Canadian Armed Forces, Hamilton Police, Hamilton Ticats, and Mascot joined in on the fun and made their own bridges. Students were also able to take part in fun events such as the Catapult Challenge and view the work of Mohawk's future engineers at the front of the stage.
This year marks the 27th annual Popsicle Stick competition here at Mohawk College, where engineering students can showcase their talents. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Selena Peroni.
Day of Pink is the International Day Against Bullying, Discrimination, Homophobia, and Transphobia in schools and communities. The event is held yearly on the second Wednesday of April. The day started when two students from Nova Scotia saw another student being bullied for wearing a pink t-shirt. The students gathered around and had everyone wear pink in support. Social Inc. and the Mohawk Student Association joined together to host this year's Day of Pink. Students could take part in educational games, dress up in the gender bender booth, and enjoy some free food. Marco Felvis, Social Inc. coordinator, says the event is held to help celebrate diversity.
I guess our agenda, which isn't really that hidden, is to help and support people who feel that they're marginalized in our college community. So we have lots of different groups at Social Inc., anything from the Black Student Association to our Asian groups, to our Christian and other religious groups, our Muslim student group, our Mohawk Pride, and so on. So it's really important that we embed the celebration of diversity, not just in our positive space, but everywhere inside of Mohawk College. So we're constantly trying to push our agenda of social inclusion outside of our positive space and into the hallways and classrooms and learning spaces here at Mohawk.
Jacqueline DeShooter, a student at Mohawk College, shares what the Day of Pink means to her.
Day of Pink is extremely important to me because it's a day that we explicitly fight homophobic and transphobic bullying, as well as bullying all over, but it's very much based in gender transgressions. So it's a day that we can actually acknowledge that these things exist and that they're a problem in our society.
Along with educational games and free food, students can also learn more from the centers around Hamilton that help in preventing discrimination. Sasha is a feminist, nonprofit, community-based organization that helps to stop sexual violence, educate women, and work towards inclusion. Erin Cricket, the public education coordinator at Sasha, says that Day of Pink is a great way to help eliminate bullying.
Oh my goodness, it's so important to increase the conversation around bullying, harassment, and abuse. Because that's what bullying is. It's abuse. Whether the abuse is emotional or physical, bullying is abuse. And so whenever we talk about bullying, I think it's really important to look at who is being bullied. The top two groups that get bullied are young women and gay and lesbian folks. So when we look at that, we have to examine bullying with a gendered lens, because what's going on, folks are enforcing those really strict, rigid gender roles that were expected, or sexual roles that we're expected to sit within. Heteronormativity, what's expected of young women. So that's what's happening when we talk about bullying in schools. So I think it's really important that we not only talk about bullying, but talk about bullying through a gendered lens.
Today is a day to celebrate diversity here at Mohawk College. For Ignite News, I'm Kyle Williamson.
So the Canadian Women's Olympic team just won gold in Sochi, Neil, and they paid a visit to Hamilton to talk to some young women in the city.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that hard work and determination could land you a gold medal, but those same skills are applicable to your daily lives.
The gold medals were given to us in Vancouver, but those medals were won on the bike paths and the running trails in Dawson Creek.
Four-time Olympic medalist Becky Keller was the keynote speaker of the event and talked about the hardships her and the Canadian women's hockey team had to go through to earn their medals. It was held to encourage young high school students to follow their dreams and aspirations. Each table had 3 or more career coaches who shared experiences they face in the workplace with aspiring high school students. Career coach Brianne Murray says education isn't everything in the workplace.
The college and university isn't always the end-all be-all, so you really just follow whatever your dreams are, and it sometimes doesn't always have to be college and university.
Keller says both men and women now have more opportunities to get into jobs that they wouldn't have been able to in the past.
The expectation isn't that you go into traditional roles anymore. I think it's pretty wide open, and I think for men as well. You see men doing jobs that maybe weren't necessarily traditional roles.
The HIEC is a nonprofit organization that works to help the youth make informed career choices. HIEC School to Work facilitator Greg Murray says you don't have to take your career journey alone.
There are lots of people that you can reach out to. They can be mentors, they can be someone you just happen to run into. They don't have to be a high-profile person. It could be someone who says one word of encouragement just at the time that you needed that one word of encouragement.
Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Stephen Sobot.
The issue of poverty in Hamilton is no laughing matter, and Mohawk College is doing what it can to give students a chance at post-secondary education.
That's right, Neil. We're here right in front of the MSA, and they run a food bank regularly here on campus. Now, Kareem Mosma had a chance to catch up with some people who worked their way out of poverty in order to remove the stigma around it and raise awareness.
Successful graduates from the Hamilton Roundtable for Poverty Reduction Speakers Bureau were recognized today at the Art Gallery of Hamilton. But graduating from the Speakers Bureau means more than just receiving a certificate.
It means that I'm going to be able to go out and speak in public areas to people who have no idea of what it's like to live in poverty.
Dana Robbins, the Vice President of Metroland South, says the stories of those suffering in poverty need to be heard.
As a person living in poverty, having to deal with these professionals trying to lead me on the right path, is that very often they don't listen to the stories and they don't understand the battles and the struggles that the people that are living in poverty have to go through.
The Speakers Bureau helps give its students hope for the future.
It's a horrible life. We're excluded from so much that a lot of people take for granted, but it's a wonderful life because we learn that we are strong. You know, I mean, like a lot of people, they found themselves in our position, wouldn't be able to make it, but we can, and we keep going and we keep hoping that things are going to get better for us.
For Ignite News, I'm Kareem Mosna.
So beatboxing has come a long way since the days of Maestro, Neil, and Hamilton's very own Hashi the Mouthpiece has been gaining a lot of steam recently.
Yep, last year he collaborated with the Hamilton Philharmonic Orchestra brass section for one epic performance at Supercrawl. Just recently, they took that performance to the next level.
Classical music meets modern-day beatboxing. Talent arising from Hamilton's music scene truly demonstrates the uniqueness and diversity Hamilton brings to the Greater Toronto Area. Baltimore House was filled with the progressive collaboration of Jason Hashey, aka Hashey the Mouthpiece, and the Philharmonic Orchestra.
I guess we were looking for interesting ways to interact with other artists in the community.
Well, it all started from Twitter. Someone came up with the idea what their dream collaboration would be, and one person said, well, HPO and Mouthpiece, and then all these other people are like, yeah, that's a great idea, that's a great idea.
Hashey has been beatboxing for nearly 14 years now. His passion for his music has made him stand out in the Hamilton music scene. He always takes advantage of new experiences and is always representing Hamilton wherever he goes. This was their second time performing together after rocking the stage at Supercrawl this past September.
The first time for me collaborating with a brass section like that, so it definitely brought the challenge and made me grow a little bit as a musician.
Hashey's loyalty to Hamilton is never overlooked, especially while he's performing on the road.
Bring awareness that there's a lot happening. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of good bands that have come out of Hamilton, and I want to be a part of that as well. And I'm always pumping Hamilton whenever I play outside of the city, so I feel like that's pretty important in a sense.
Remembering your roots and taking pride in where you came from is clearly a main priority to those involved in the Hamilton music scene. For Ignite News, I'm Carlin McGill.
April 1st marked the opening of the 14th annual Art in the Workplace at McMaster Innovation Park. Local artists were given the opportunity to promote their work to hundreds of supporters who gathered in the atrium. Those in attendance were able to speak with McMaster art history students about the works on display. One of those students, Sandra Evaklian, a program coordinator, tells us what sets this event apart from others in the area.
We're not just promoting local artists, but a wide variety of them. Our jury is very open to artists at different levels.
Feature artist Sylvia Simpson says art and local businesses go hand in hand.
How great art is in your office buildings and in your public places, and how a team of organizers and volunteers can pull something this off 14 times in a row and it gets better and better and better. And how art can be a community thing, and I'm all behind it.
Mohawk got involved and had pieces from around the college donated to the event. Interim President Bob Kerrigan is concerned that without these events, art can go unnoticed.
Certainly you're seeing the creative side of Hamilton here and the creativity of our own students over the years. So many of these pieces I see around the college, and you don't stop and really look at them and see what they are. And to now have the history with them and information about the artist is just a wonderful, wonderful situation for us, and I'm looking forward to finding a spot in Mohawk where we can pull these all together so everyone will enjoy them in future.
You have until June to check out over 150 works of art from your community.
For $10, how much can you really expect to get out of a game? Well, if you haven't tried Goat Simulator yet, you might want to. Not only is it fun, but it's actually a great game. Ignite News reporter Steven Sobot has more.
Every gamer has a dream. Some may want to become a Pokemon master. Others may want to rule the world. But mine was to play as a goat. Goat Simulator is a game developed by Coffee Stain Studios where you play as a goat. Your objective is to be an ordinary goat. That is, if your goat can climb ladders, use its tongue as a sticky harness, and destroy gas stations by headbutting it. Every time you destroy something or hit someone, you rack up points. Every different action you do adds a multiplier to your score. What you do with your score is completely up to you. Maybe you'd like to brag about it on Facebook. But the game has its issues. People get stuck in walls, throwing random objects at other explosive objects almost always result in spontaneous combustion, and the game seems to find a way to bog down when too many things are happening. But you can't judge a book by its cover, even if the cover seems to have been chewed up a little. What you will find inside is a fun and stress-relieving game that thrives on its faults. Goat Simulator was released on April 1st and is available for Steam for $10. Thanks for watching.
You know, Record Store Day is coming up on April 19th, and vinyl's making a very, very big comeback. We have the latest information on what you need to know when buying your first turntable.
Today I'd like to talk to you about a product that we're seeing a huge resurgence in, and that's turntables. There's been a big resurgence in people buying vinyl. Vinyl's even being produced at record stores again, and sales of turntables are better than those of CD players, which if you would have asked me that, I never would have predicted it. Let me show you some of the things of what you want to look for when buying a turntable. Here we've got our, kind of entry-level model, and typically with something like this, you're going to notice it's very plastic as far as the construction. Tone arm, the deck, which is this part here. The platter is not going to be as sturdy. And these are all things that on a better turntable you're going to want to address. Something like this is going to be okay for the person that just wants your basic record player for playing records. But as far as sound quality and not having the record vibrate, you're not really going to get excellent results with something like this.
Wednesday, March 20th was Accessibility Awareness Day, and here at Mohawk College, we had a slew of events to spread awareness, such as the Wheelchair Challenge, which involved trying to navigate the hallways in a wheelchair.
We have arranged this event to raise awareness around accessibility so that people are more aware around the disabilities that affect our community around the college and in Hamilton.
Just to raise awareness around accessibility in Mohawk College and get people out and get people learning about different community organizations that assist different disabilities and just get people together and raise some awareness.
The TV and music students teamed up to film a music video titled I Can Do Anything. The performance was to spread awareness that despite disabilities, people can do anything they put their minds to. For Ignite News, I'm Elaine Morris.
Hello Mohawk, welcome to Fit Tips. This week, Graham is going to show us how to properly stretch our backs.
The first stretch is going to be a basic hamstring stretch. When you think hamstring, everybody comes down this way. What you want to get away from is the arc in your lower back, so you're going to grab something elevated, bring your leg up, straight leg, tight back, shoulders back, come forward into it this way, breathe through. Hold that for about 30 seconds, and then you can switch legs. What you want to make sure in this stretch is that everything is lined up straight here. What you can do to make it more intense is rotate your leg inwards this way. All right, this next one's going to be for your front hip flexors. If you're busy at an office all day, sitting down, what's going to happen is you're going to get an inactive butt, and you're going to get really tight hip flexors in here. It's going to cause for an anterior tilt in your pelvis, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on your low back. So we're going to stretch out our front hip flexors here, get our leg up, knees over our toes. Don't let it extend further, and we're just going to drop into it. Stretching in here. Don't open up this way. Again, keep your shoulders back, your chest up, drop down. Breathe through the stretch. All right, for this last one, we're going to work on stretching our gluteus maximus, our butt muscle. Probably the most important in reducing back stress. So what we're going to do is bring our leg up onto our table, our object we have, and brace ourselves, straight leg in the back, and we're going to lean forward into it, and you'll feel a big stretch down through here. Again, keeping your shoulders back, your chest up, breathing, holding that 30 to 40 seconds. We don't want to bounce, just hold in one position. We're going to come through with the other one. A little bit less flexible on this side. Come through. and hold. This is a great exercise you can do with a partner. We came up with it a couple weeks ago, called it the block stack pass. You can start off with your heels on the ground for beginners. Lift your legs up if you're finding that a little easy. And for the more advanced, you can add a bicycle kick in.
All right, so the next exercise we're going to be doing is one of our favorites. It's really going to work out your obliques. It's called the side lateral plank hip drop. So what you want to do is get into a side plank, and you're going to do it with an elastic band, and you're just going to be bringing your arms down, keeping your core really tight. And with any exercise, you can always do variations. So to make it a bit more difficult, you can add a hip drop.
All right, for our final exercise, this is a really fun one to do in a partner situation. It's great for whole core stability, good for anti-rotation, anti-extension, and anti-flexion. What we're gonna do is push up, and then we're gonna meet in the middle, and we're gonna push against each other while keeping a tight core.
All right, so what's really important about this is putting resistance against your partner and breathing evenly, keeping your belly in and core tight.
Thanks for tuning in, Mohawk. Just to recap, make sure to keep your belly braced. It'll take a lot of pressure off your low back, and make sure to breathe through all of your exercises. Stay fit.
And stay healthy, Mohawk.
Bringing a top speed of 280 kilometers per hour, 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds, the Audi RS7 is the ultimate road car. And we're here at Hamilton Audi to check this car out. When you step into the RS7, you will be absolutely blown away. This whole interior is just absolutely beautiful. You have these racing style seats. You expect them to be uncomfortable? Well, you're wrong. They aren't. This steering wheel, not too big, not too small, fits perfectly in your hands. The paddle shifters are comfortable. The whole interior is just absolutely beautiful, from the suede roof to these seats to everything you see here. Perfect. I'm in love.
This is the 2014 Audi RS7. This vehicle, RS in stature, represents the highest sport and dynamic level of Audi vehicles that are available for consumer purchase. So a look under the hood here features the 4.0 bi-turbo V8 with cylinder-on-demand technology. This is a direct-injected turbocharged V8 that produces 560 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. One of the unique characteristics of this engine is it has the ability to operate on less than 8 cylinders whenever the power demand for the vehicle is lower. So at a suggestion, if you're driving on the highway at regular speeds, the car is capable of running on 4 cylinders for maximum efficiency. What we're looking at here is a vehicle that's got an extremely high level of trim on it. It includes the extended aluminum package, which involves a muted aluminum trim around the windows, mirrors, and the front and rear portions of the vehicle. It has a 21-inch sport wheel and tire package on it. The red calipers are an indication of the car being the Rennsport model, as are the perforated rotors and the wave pattern that you see on the brake calipers themselves. If we took a closer look at it, we see more evidence of the extended aluminum packaging, which is part of the air intake component and the front diffuser. If we had a look at the rear of the vehicle back here, we'd see these black finishers and the large ovalized tailpipes. Again, those are a signature of the RS models. Also on this vehicle is a signature retractable spoiler, which is part of the RS7 model. That spoiler automatically comes up at speed, deploys automatically on its own. It's used for down forces to try and improve the handling on the car, and then it also retracts again when the car drops down to a lower speed. The suspension system on this car is Audi's dynamic ride control. It's a hydraulically managed, diagonally opposed system, which helps take the forces of the car as it moves into corners and reapply those to the rear of the car to keep the car very flat and in plane. On the inside of this car, it features a couple of unique options that are available on the RS7. The audio system in this car is from Bang & Olufsen. It involves linear drive tweeters that rise up out of the dashboard. So this is Audi's multimedia interface. It's an intuitive design for displaying Bluetooth telephone navigation, and audio functionality. So currently we have the night vision function activated here. The night vision involves an infrared camera that's placed in the front of the car and is able to pick up heat sources.
The RS7. It's sleek, it's beautiful, and it is powerful. Come down to Hamilton Audi on Upper James Street in Hamilton for a test drive. I'm gonna go get a loan.
Students of the Mohawk College Building Renovation Program and the pre-apprentice craft workers are yet again involved with the community.
Here we're doing the 2014 Building and Renovation Mohawk Community Builders project in partnership with the Trillium Foundation. So what we're doing, well, we're actually working on the community center side of the church. So this is the Delta United Community Center, and we're renovating the gym, and we're renovating this storage area, and we're putting in an accessible front door or side door, front door to the community center. Yeah, and basically working hard and trying to teach the kids some things about renovations.
Monday through Friday, the students from the Stony Creek campus have the opportunity to have a hands-on life experience in the construction field.
We have real budgets, real material constraints, and so the students are learning all of those aspects, as well as the aspects of kind of construction site etiquette and what goes on in a construction site.
Along with Bradley McDonald, there are many eager students hard at work.
Dealing with different kind of people, like dealing with the community centers and Delta United, we're dealing with some good people, and it's great.
The 85-year-old church is in need of a well-done makeover, and Reverend Shelley Smith is excited for the finished product.
Say that we feel very blessed that we have the opportunity to do the upgrades to our building that is showing signs of aging, and we hope to continue our ministry, our community ministry and outreach ministry here at Delta. So we are very grateful, and we feel very blessed.
The community and the Ontario Trillium Foundation are doing everything they can to be involved.
I'm very proud of the fact that we've been able to raise money through the Trillium Fund to finance the program at Mohawk, as well as help the church at the same time. So it's a win-win for our community.
The partnership between Mohawk College construction students and Delta United Church benefits both sides and the community. For Ignite News, I'm Megan Adams.
And that's all for this week's edition of Ignite News. I'm your host, Greg Rosser.
And I'm Neil Reyes. For more news coverage, please check out our website at ignitenews.ca.
I was going to say that.
Well, I said it.
But I want to say the fun stuff.
Well, I like the fun stuff. I like the website more.
Whatever, we're not friends anymore.
We were going to get cookies later.